All right, go ahead and label the topic dividing monomials. It is Unit 2, Notes 10. Now remember, monomials are just like the terms that we see in expressions. So it can be a number by itself, a letter by itself, or letters and numbers connected, right? Now, this is very similar to multiplying monomials. Remember, when we multiply monomials, we add those exponents together. So when we divide monomials, so if you're dividing terms, you will subtract the exponents. Okay, so you can probably figure out what this quotient rule is right here. It says if we have x to the 8th power over x to the bth power, we're going to have x to the a minus b power. Okay, so let's go ahead and find number 1. We're not solving or evaluating. We just want our answer to be simplified using exponents. So our base here is 8. We have 8 to the 4th power, and we have over 8 to the 2nd power, right? Our base does not change. We still have a base of 8. Now we just have to take our exponents and subtract them. 4 minus 2 equals 2, so we now have 8 to the 2nd power. So 8 to the 4th power divided by 8 to the 2nd power leaves us with just 8 to the 2nd power. And then if you were asked to solve this, doing 8 squared is a lot simpler than doing 8 to the 4th power divided by 8 to the 2nd power, right? It's a lot quicker. So go ahead and do numbers 2 and 3 on your own. Pause the video. Okay, you should have paused the video here. Number 2 and number 3, let's go over it. Number 2, our base is 12. Here are exponents. We subtract our exponents and we get a new exponent of 5. Number 3, -5 is our base, and remember we have to keep a negative symbol in parentheses, especially when we have exponents and other things happening to it. So we have a 7, and what's down here is an invisible 1, right? Not 0, it's a 1. If there's nothing there, it's always a 1. So we really have 7 minus 1, which equals 6. So we have -5 to the 6th power. All right, go ahead and try to do number 7 and 10. Pause the video here. All right, so you should have done 7 and 10. The same thing, our bases don't change at all. So our base for this one is x, and we subtract our exponents. 9 minus 2 is 7. For number 10, our base was -m, put that in parentheses. Subtract our exponents. 11 minus 9 is 2. Okay, now we're going to move on to the examples with coefficients. Remember, coefficients are those numbers that are attached to the letters. So when it says step 1 is to divide the coefficients, you just divide the numbers, right? Go ahead and write that down. Then we'll simplify the variables with the quotient rule. So that means that we subtract those exponents, right? That's that quotient rule that we've been doing. And then it's just telling you you don't have to, there's nothing to solve. We're just simplifying this and writing our answer as far as we can go. So let's go ahead and do number 13. Number 13. First, we'll start with the coefficients. So it says our first step is to divide the coefficients. So we have 6 divided by -2. 6 divided by -2 will be -3. So I'm going to write that. And then we also have to do our letters or our variables. So r divided by r. Remember, if you don't see an exponent there, it's a 1. And then we would have to subtract, right? 1 minus 1 equals 0. Anytime you have 0 as an exponent, remember if we have 3 to the 0, or even if you have x to the 0, it always equals 1. So this would technically be -3 times 1, but that wouldn't change anything. So it's just -3. Let's go ahead and do number 14. Now this one's a little bit different because we have a smaller number on top. So instead of doing 7 divided by 14 and getting a decimal, it would be 0.5, and that would technically be correct. We're going to leave it in the fraction form now. So 7 divided by 14, or 7/14. We're just going to simplify that and keep it as a fraction. So we can divide top and bottom both by 7. 7 divided by 7 equals 1. 14 divided by 7 equals 2. So that's as simplified as I can go here. Again, we have x to the 4th over x to the 4th. We have the same exponent again. They're both 4. So x to the 4th divided by x to the 4th is just going to be 1. That's just like saying, right? So we have this divided by this. That's just like saying 5 divided by 5 is 1, right? Whenever you have the same thing on the top and the same thing on the bottom, division, it always equals 1. So here answer is just 1/2. We don't have to worry about adding that 1 in there because 1/2 times 1 will not change the problem. All right, go ahead, pause the video here to try 15 and 16 on your own. Pause it. All right, you should have paused the video and done 15 and 16 on your own. Starting with number 15, we would have divided the coefficients. 12 divided by negative, I'm sorry, I don't know why it's a negative. 12 divided by 2 is 6, so we have 6. Now we have n to the 8th power and n to the 2nd power. So we're going to subtract those exponents to figure out our new exponent with our base of n. 8 minus 2 equals 6, so we have n to the 6th power. That's my whole answer, 6n to the 6th power. Number 16, we would do 9 divided by -3. This equals -3. And then x to the 13th, x to the 9th, we would do 13 minus 9 to get x to the 4th. So our answer is -3 x to the 4th. Go ahead and flip on over to the back. Okay, so now we have some mixed, actually before we go to the next practice, we'll do a few more up here up top because we have some large numbers. I want you to go ahead and try number 20 on your own. So pause the video and try that one. All right, number 20, again, we can't divide here without getting a decimal, so we are just going to simplify this fraction. We can divide both of these by 4. That would be my largest number that I can divide them by, right? So this would be 4/5. Okay, I'm also going to do x to the 4th divided by x squared. Remember when you divide monomials with the variables that we're talking about, we subtract exponents. So we have 4 minus 2 equals 2. X won't change, but the exponent will. So we have 4/5 times x squared here as my answer. All right, let's go over number 22 together. Okay. 22 together. We want to simplify our coefficients. We have 20 over 24. We're going to divide by the largest number that we can. Again, that is going to be 4. We're going to end up with 5/6. So here, our fraction is 5/6. Also, notice how this was a negative fraction. That will not change. We are not changing this fraction. We are just simplifying it. So it is still going to be a negative. All right, now we have 2 different variables. We have A, we have B. You have to do them separately. So A, we have to do 22 minus 2. That's going to get us 20. So that's our new exponent. And then B, remember nothing there, so it's a 1. So we have B to the 5th divided by B to the 1st power. 5 minus 1 equals 4. So we have B to the 4th power. That is our final answer. That one is very similar to 21. So go ahead and try that one on your own. Pause here. All right, you should have tried number 21 on your own. You should have gotten, let's see, 12 divided by 6 is 2. This would be A to the 5th power. This would be B to the 12th power. If you did not get that as your answer, go ahead and pause here, ask for help, so that before you continue on, so that we make sure you know what you're doing. All right, moving on to the mixed practice section now. So now you know how to multiply monomials and you know how to divide monomials. We are going to put it all together, okay? So looking at number 23, we have a fraction first. So we're gonna actually, multiplication and division. You know, in PEMDAS, we solve it left to right. But here, since it's written this way as a fraction, if it's easier for you to divide it first and multiply, it does not matter in this case, unless we have parentheses and they want us to do that first, but I don't see anywhere where they have that. We also have adding and subtracting down here, so a lot of mixed practice. Let's just go over one example of the multiplying and dividing, and then we'll also do one example of the adding and subtracting to refresh our memories. So number 23. Either way, you can go first. We'll go ahead and just solve it. The fraction first. So right here, so that we can just work on what we just did. I'm going to pull down what I didn't use. Okay, we have 6 divided by 2. That is going to be 3. We have x squared divided by x to the first power. That is going to be x to the first power. If you are stuck on that step, pause the video here so you can figure out what you did wrong. Now here we are multiplying monomials. Remember, we multiply our numbers. 5 times 3 is 15. We are multiplying the x's, which means we add the exponents. So we have x to the 4th power, and we are done. That is fully simplified. Go ahead and try number 24 on your own. Pause the video now. All right, you should have paused the video and done this before you look at the solution. The solution to this is going to be 9d to the 5th power. Again, it doesn't matter if first you multiply this and then divide by here, or if you take care of the fraction first and then multiply, whatever you prefer. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 29. So number 29, before we do this division of down here, we have to simplify the top of our fraction first, just like way back when we were doing PEMDAS. So up top here, we do have like terms, since we have x to the 4th y to the 10th and x to the 4th y to the 10th. So that x to the 4th y to the 10th will not change since we are adding and subtracting here, right? Remember, your terms stay the same, exponents and letters all stay the same when you add and subtract. So we are just going to add or subtract the coefficients. We have negative 12 minus 16. Negative 12 minus 16, that is going to get us negative 28. All right, now we can put that back on top. Now we don't have any more addition or subtraction to do on top. We can divide. So divide your numbers. Negative 28 divided by 7. That's going to be negative 4. And then we have x to the 4th divided by x squared. That will be x to the 2nd power. And finally, we have y to the 10th divided by y squared. That would be y to the 8th power. And that is my final answer. If you did not get that, you need to stop here and figure out where you went wrong or ask questions to get help. Now you can go ahead and try number 30 on your own, so pause the video here. All right, you should have paused the video so that you didn't see the solution yet. Once you get this done, you should have x to the 5th power times y to the 4th power. And that is your final answer. Make sure you know how to do this before you move on to the homework.